Let's start our today's Abhidhamma study, reciting the Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Okay, so welcome back to Abhidhamma class. So now we are studying the Abhidhamma lesson. Today is lesson 72. Whether we are talking about the Vipassana practice and achievement during the lesson. So today is an analysis of emancipation, or in Pali it is called Vimokkha Bheda. Vimokkha Bheda. So Vimokkha Bheda is an analysis, is different kinds. So Vimokkha refers to emancipation, or on the other hand, we can say that it is liberation. So liberation from samsara, emancipation from samsara. This is called vimokkha. Okay, so let's see how we can analyze the vimokkha. So vimokkha refers to the liberation. That liberation can be considered as especially nibbana. And here, the liberation is considered as in different kinds. At the beginning, the path is considered as liberation or emancipation. So vimokkha refers to the path. So for the first time, the vimokkha refers to the path. If the vimokkha refers to the path, and I would say, and the practice, so vimokkha mukha, so the door to emancipation. The door to emancipation is called vimokkha mukha. So in this lesson, we will see the two types, vimokkha and vimokkha mukha, together. So if the vimokkha, the name vimokkha, emancipation, is given to the path consciousness or path knowledge, the mega jnana, the attainment of supramundane mega, the path is contemplation. The path is contemplation. So before this lesson, we had learned about the Vipassana practice, and afterward, the achievement of Magga and Phala. So let's look at that. Before the attainment of Magga Jnana, the meditator needs to practice Vipassana meditation so that his Vipassana knowledges or insight knowledges come to the stage of maturity. And it's coming the gradual process, even though it is sometimes it is considered as the very fast to achieve the mega, just like the quick movement. But even that time, the mind process arises according to the Abhidhamma. So mind process arises to run in the order of Vipassana Jnana. So observing or contemplating on the ultimate reality of mentalities and materialities, focusing on their characteristic of impermanence, non-self, and suffering. So after the Vipassana knowledge is mature enough to call Uttana Kamini Vipassana. You may remember this word, Uttana Kamini Vipassana. That is the inside knowledge leading to the emergence. We translated that. Inside knowledge leading to the emergence. Emergence refers to that time, the mega. So inside knowledge close to or leading to the emergence mean the two highest knowledges of Vipassana Jnana. One is Sankharupika, and the other one is Anuloma, conformity. So reaching to these stages, the highest stages of inside knowledge, close to and definitely leading to the attainment of Magga. Then after that, the Magga follow to that stage of inside knowledge. So Magga arrives afterward, the Phala and the Magga-viti. So this is the process we have learned. So in this case, if the highest inside knowledge of the inside knowledge leading to the emergence, which is called Uttana Kamini Vipassana, is practicing on the characteristic of non-self. It is called the Anatta Nupassana. So contemplation of non-self is Anatta Nupassana. So if meditator focus on non-self at the very moment just before the attainment of Magga, because basically the consciousness can take only one type of object in the precise moment. So cannot take many subjects at the moment. So to take the different objects, it need to run a different process. So in this case, if the mind is taking the characteristic of non-self, it does not take the others. Or after that, in the other process, it can take the other characteristic of impermanence or suffering. But in one moment, so it would take only one type. That's why at the moment, the precise moment before the Magga, or the Vipassana Jnana will take one. But before that, before the stage of Uttana Kamini Vipassana, the meditator need to practice on these all three kinds of on anicca, dukkha, and anatta. But in the precise moment just before the Magga, it should be one. So if it taking non-self as its object, non-self characteristic of non-self of its object, it is called the contemplation on non-self. In Pali, it is called the Anatta Nupassana. So after the attainment comes. So in this process, by practicing Anatta Nupassana, the meditator, the knowledge, inside knowledge, discuss the clinging to itself, especially at that moment. So clinging to the self, atta pinivesa, it is called. So by abandoning the atta binivesa, the clinging to the self, and it becomes the door that the insight knowledge is considered as the door to emancipation, the door to liberation, or on the other hand, the door to emergence. So it means it gives rise the mega. So that mega is related to the contemplation of non-self. So that is called the contemplation of voids. Contemplation of voids. So in this case, all refers to the anatta nupassana. So anatta nupassana becomes the door to contemplation of voids. Contemplation of voids. So sunyata nupassana. So you can recognize in this case anatta nupassana and sunyata nupassana. Because that has abandoned the atta-binivesa, the clinging to a self. So if there is a existing self, so there cannot be the void because there is existing. If we say that if anybody is inside the room, we cannot say this is empty room. He is there. So the voids of the self is atta-binivesa, and so the void of the self is called sunyata. The void of the self is called sunyata in this case, and contemplation on that void of self is called the sunyata nupassana. And it is same as the anatta nupassana. So this name is given only related to the achievement of the mega. Before the practice, it is continuously used anatta nupassana. Then at the moment, when it is considered as the door to the emancipation, the door to the liberation or mega, at the moment, it can be used by the term of the anatta nupassana. By the term of the sunyata nupassana. Then as a result, the mega also sunyata vimokkha, like this. So you should not be confused that the name is very, in this case, complicated. So make simple, anatta nupassana and sunyata nupassana the same. As a result, the mega is sunyata vimokkha. Okay, this is the simple way. And that contemplation of anatta nupassana, it abandons the clinging to itself. Okay, so the same formula going to the second way. Second, if the meditator focus on the characteristic of impermanence, it is called anicca nupassana. Because impermanence is anicca. Anicca nupassana, that abandon the sign of perversion. So vipanasa. Vipanasa is a kind of perversion. So it's wrongly keep the perception. That is called the vipanasa, the sanya vipanasa. And if it is kept in by the citta, it is called the citta vipanasa. And the last one is ditthi vipanasa. So three kinds of vipanasa. The sign of vipanasa, the sign of perversion are abandoned by the contemplation of impermanence, anicca nupassana. So by practicing impermanence, one sees the thing as they really are, how they are arising and passing away in the process. And there's no perception as the permanent and perception as a pleasure or self or there's something beautiful. And by abandoning this kind of concept, this kind of mind, and this kind of view, and it is considered as the abandonment of the sign of perversion. So this is called the vipanasa, abandonment of vipanasa nimitta. Then what it become is the emancipation, the door to emancipation of the signless animita. So contemplation of the signless animita nupassana. And it is the door to emancipation, but the name is contemplation of signless. We can recognize is the animita nupassana. So, or because it abandoned the sign, yeah, animita is sign. So animita nupassana, the abandonment of sign is mean the signless. And in this case, anicca nupassana, before the attainment of mega, in ordinary case, we just call anicca nupassana by that name. When it reached to the highest point and being the door for emancipation or liberation of mega, it is recognized as the contemplation of silence, animita nupassana. Then the last one, if the meditator focus on the characteristic of suffering, it is called the contemplation of suffering, dukkhanupassana. So by practicing dukkhanupassana, that meditator can abandon desire through craving. No more craving, no more desire connected to craving, because he is observing the suffering nature. So the tanha paniti. So tanha paniti, the craving is tanha, and paniti here is desire. So that kind of desire is discard, abandonment. That's why that dukkha nupassana, the contemplation of suffering, can be recognized as the contemplation of desireless at the stage of being the door to emancipation, mega. So all of them, these three names, the contemplation of voice, contemplation of signless, and contemplation of desireless, all of them refers to the stage the stage to be the door of emancipation. I mean, just close to the attainment. Before that, it is not recognized by this name. It is just recognized by the anicca nupassana, dukkha nupassana, anatta nupassana, like this. So these are technical, term in the Abhidhamma study. So you have to make equal the anatta nupassana and sunyata nupassana, anicca nupassana and animita nupassana, and dukkha nupassana and apanihita nupassana, like this. Apanihita. So the word panihita is here. So refers to the desire. So apanihita, desireless. So if you take a note here, and it is not difficult to remember. Okay, so let's go back to the emancipation. The name of emancipation is given to the path knowledge, as I said. So the path can be named in different way. If the person comes through the practice of anatta, and if he attain, then the name of emancipation is given as sunyata vimokkha. So if he attained the sunyata vimokkha, the door is sunyata nupassana. So anatta nupassana, sunyata nupassana, then attainment of magga is sunyata vimokkha, like this. If the meditator practice anicca nupassana, so his anicca nupassana become in the highest point, becomes recognized. It is recognized as the animita nupassana, signless, the contemplation of signless, and the attainment of magga in that process is regarded as the signless emancipation, animita vimokkha. And the third one, if the meditator practice the dukkha focusing on suffering, then the door is called the contemplation on desireless, and as the result, the vimokkha is called the abnihita vimokkha and the desireless emancipation. So here, for the attainment of sunyata vimokkha, you need to practice the sunyata nupassana. So these the names are given connecting each other. So basically, what we call is the contemplation is first, according to the Abhidhamma Sangha. The name is considered as the contemplation because it depends on its abandonment of something. The first thing, focusing on that, the clinging to self is abandonment then, and considers the wideness of the self, then it's called the sunyata. And wideness of the self is called sunyata. And the second one, abandon the sign of perversion, and so signless. Then it's changed to the name of the contemplation of silence, and also the mega is given the name of the animita vimokkha. And the third one, because it abandoned the desire through craving, so it is given the desireless abnihita. So contemplation of abnihita, that the name, the mega is given as the desireless emancipation. So here, emancipation or liberation refers to the noble path, the mega jnana. And that noble path is achieved through the practice of contemplation or anupassana or vipassana, same vipassana and vipassana. So as the mega liberates from the opposite defilement, it is called emancipation, and this considers the practice leading to the path. Leading to the path is just like the entrance to the path, entrance to the vimokkha. So this is regarded as the door to vimokkha, the door to emancipation. So here is mentioned the Abhidhamma Sangha test. When insight knowledge reach, it is culmination. So the culmination refers to the Uttanagamini stage, as I mentioned. Uttanagamini stage, the higher points of the insight knowledge practice. So it's set upon one of the three contemplation. The test is mentioned. So it does not focus on all the whole the all three kinds. That it should be only one of them. Then impermanence or suffering or non-self. Then this make determination. So by this made by the determination of the meditator. So if he stick on the impermanence, so anicca nupassana. If he stick on the suffering, dukkha nupassana, and on non-self, it become anatta nupassana. So according to his preference, then it become the kind of certain kinds of contemplation or nupassana. Then the name is given. So it should not be confused as the different way of practice. If we don't understand this system or giving the name terminology, and the people will think, oh, this is sunyata nupassana. I have to practice another, the animita nupassana or abnihita nupassana, like this. And by doing so, they will think in different stage. These are different stage or different kinds of meditation from the common sense we call the anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Actually, these three, sunyata nupassana, animita nupassana, apanihita nupassana, these three are equal to the anatta nupassana anicca nupassana, dukkha nupassana. So if we know and we just stay on the practice, then and wait for the achievement. Otherwise, we will be looking for, or having doubt, or this is not whether this is enough or not. Is there any other stages to be completed or not? The doubt will come. So if you know this terminology and how they are called, it's okay. You don't need to confuse it. You just pay attention, focusing on the characteristic of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Okay, this is Abhidhamma term. And okay, so here a little bit more information. And the non-self is called anatta. So if one contemplate on non-self characteristic, and the mind can abandon, can discard the clinging to self, then that has become the door to emancipation, that by the name of the contemplation of voids. The reason is because it see formations as being void of a self. So just the process of formation is arising and passing away. When he see, he could emphasize, he could figure out the void of self, just the formation, sankhara. So all sankhara. Being void of self, no self at all, and being void of self is, he can emphasize the nature of sunyata. Then, so a living being or a person, there's no living being, no a person, no self, and just the process of formations, only sankhara. In this way, he can keep going in, keep continuing in the achievement through up to the stage of mega. So here, this more information at the beginning. The text is just mentioned that it discards the clinging to self, So this gives the reason how and why. So it can abandon the clinging to self. So by focusing on the non-self nature, non-self characteristic, he really, the enlightenment with this understanding. So no self at all. And this is called the sunyata nupassana. And for the second one, focusing on the anicca, so contemplation of anicca, abandon the sign of perversion. And it is termed as the animita nupassana because it abandoned the sign of perversion. This the information is almost the same. The sign of perversion, vipana sanimita. And the third one, suffering, contemplation on suffering. So discuss the desire to craving. And the reason is it terminates desire by abandoning false perception of pleasure in formation. So formation here, sankhara. In the sankhara process, the process of sankhara, as long as he keep the false perception or wrong perception of pleasure, and he still has the attachment to that, crave for that, then desire still have, so panihita will be there. Then after termination or removing of this desire is called the desireless or apnihita. So this is called the apnihita nupassana, and the name of mega follow. Okay, so here a little bit more about the commentary explanation and in relation to the dominant faculties. So the according to the nature or naturally, some the meditators have the dominator faculty. Some are strong in the faith, satta. So this kind of person have the satta, is strong. So we can say the dominant faculty is satta, satindriya. Or for some is concentration is strongest one, and dominant faculty is concentration, samadhi. And for some, is strongest one is wisdom nature, wisdom faculty. So depending on that, the meditator prefer, if the person have the strong sattva, or sattva indriya is strong, the dominant, and he prefers to contemplate impermanence. And if he has the concentration in the strong position, and he contemplate on suffering. And if he has the wisdom faculty as dominant one, and he contemplate on nasa. So nasa is the most difficult characteristic to see. That's why only the wisdom, the person with the dominant faculty or wisdom has the preference to focus on. So this is just mention a little bit about the commentary explanation. As he go further, then further to reach to the this type match with this kind of nature. And just imagine, we don't need in the practice, not necessary to do that. If we have this the dominant faculty of sattva, and we will choose, automatically our sense know a preference. We know that, and we will choose the impermanence like this. So this paces, so final paces mean is of contemplation, final place of insight practice, is because it close to the attainments of mega. So become considered as mediators, immediate access to the emancipation experience of supramundane path. So supramundane path is vimokkha. In this case, you have to know this. Supramundane path is vimokkha in this case. And the highest point or final piece of the contemplation or final piece of the insight knowledge, vipassana jnana, is considered as the immediate access. Immediate access, just like the door. That is why the name is called the vimokkha mukha. So here vimokkha mukha. Normally we call the mukha is the entrance of any compound. So entrance of the temple, entrance of the any area is called the mukha. So the area, if the area is recognized as the supramundane part, so the access that is immediate access is the final pace of contemplation. We call the uttanagamini vipassana. It should be any of the anicca-nupassana, dukkha-nupassana, anatta-nupassana. Okay, so this is about the name of the vipassana jnana and mega. Then, so yes, let's get back to a little bit the three characteristics so that you remember, because all the name here connect the name of the vipassana jnana or contemplation come with the by the name of three characteristics. So although we already studied this in the former lesson, just take a look a little bit. And three characteristics also called lakkhana. So, and focusing on these three characteristics, the insight knowledge is named as the contemplation in different way here. Contemplation of impermanent, contemplation of suffering, contemplation of non-self, anicca-nupassana, dukkha-nupassana, anatta-nupassana, like this. And it's don't be bothered about the order. Sometimes the orders come in their preference or their own reason. But if we just keep in mind, this is anicca-nupassana, so connected to the explanation of that one. Okay, so here the characteristic of impermanent anicca lakkhana is refers to the mood of rise and fall and changing. So that is reaching to the non-existent after having come to be. So this explanation will be helpful if the meditator understand. If he is observing, so there's not necessary, he does not need to find and any other aspect of anicca, if he just focusing on the entities or materiality, whatever come to be, whatever appear in his mind as object. So by focusing that and it's come to be, come to appear due to their condition, certain condition, then it reached to non-existent. So no more existent, not existing after appearance. By observing, so the meditator or practicing vipassana jnana, he can observe this nature. Then if he's still confused, what is anicca? Although he is observing in the mentalities or materiality, anything come to be and come to appear and no more existing and disappear. But if he does not understand, that is the characteristic of impermanence or anicca lakkhana. But still thinking that, well, what is anicca? I don't see the characteristic of nature. And what I see is something come to be, something appear after that disappear. Only this process I see. Maybe I need more. Like this is just misunderstanding. The mood of rise and fall is, or the mood of change itself is called anicca. And on the other hand, to simplify, something come to be, something appear, then disappear. This is anicca. So anicca is not something special than that representation. So by contemplating that is called anicca nupassana. But for the dukkha, second one, the characteristic of dukkha and the dukkha lakkhana, that is the mood of continuously oppressed by rise and fall. So the people just thinking that, if I'm in the comfortable condition and enjoying the meditation, meditation, the process, attainment in the meditation process, the qualities of mind, how I can see the dukkha lakkhana, the characteristic of suffering. And they thought, they misunderstand, I should find any suffering, any painful condition or something like this. And this is not correct. Not necessary to see any painful condition, painful feeling, or the rise and fall itself, the formation, the process of formation, sankhara, is under the rise and fall nature of rise and fall, the oppressed by the rise and fall. It is the characteristic of suffering. So it should not be understood a real suffering, the painful condition. No, it's not dukkha lakkhana. And some people are thinking that, so it is not necessary to practice the concentration, because with the concentration, you don't see the suffering. You are in the comfortable condition. That actually not. By the support of concentration, one can see the impermanent nature and also can realize the something oppressed by the impermanent nature as suffering, characteristic of suffering. It is enough. Then the third one, another lakkhana, is the mood of being insuspectiva or unsuspectiva, actually, and to exercise of mastery. This is a little bit confused if you don't understand all the things. Actually, if it is uncontrollable, so by practicing the mastery, so exercising the mastery, I will control, I will make them to follow my will. So this is impossible. That's why this is so insusceptible. So it means that the fact that one cannot exercise complete control over the phenomena of mind and matter. So by observing this nature of impermanence and suffering, okay, I don't like them to keep in this situation, and I will have the mastery of mind to control these kind, to follow my will. So it is impossible. That kind of nature itself is called anatta lakkhana, non-self. So some people thinking, can misunderstand that, okay, in order to have the non-self condition, we have to find self first. So this is not correct. But if they are thinking, there's a self is existing, that is a wrong view. And if he is searching for any self or the person, it is, or is working on something not suitable area. So you cannot find the self and just the formation. And just understanding that the formation are arising and passing away due to their condition. It is impossible to keep under control. And then realizing that nature is anatta nupassana. That nature itself is called anatta lakkhana. Okay, so this is three characteristics. So without understanding these three characteristics, sometimes the meditator in that stage may confuse. So if it is not enough, if it does not have enough knowledge, and confuse that and hard to keep continuing. Okay, so for the name, if the meditator attain the path through the contemplation of non-self, the path makes nibbana as it is object, through the aspect of voidness as devoid of itself, devoid of self, and is known as the void emancipation. Okay, so this passage is Abhidhamma Sangha, translation of Abhidhamma Sangha. You can see that in the 357 in the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma. And here the path, you see the path. So the path is known as the voice of emancipation. So the path is vimokkha, voice of void emancipation. So sunyata vimokkha. Here the path, sunyata vimokkha. The same thing repeating, right? So contemplation on non-self, the path, attainment of path is void emancipation, vimokkha, sunyata vimokkha. So in that case, that path, the metta, take nibbana as it is object through the aspect of voidness. So in the former case, we connected the inside knowledge practice and the attainment of metta, and the name is connected each other. Then now it gives more information in connection with the object, which is nibbana. So because the path consciousness take nibbana as its object when it arises. So aspect of wideness, nibbana through the aspect of wideness take nibbana. That is the reason it is known as the wide emancipation. So in the same way, if the path is attained through the practice of the contemplation of impermanence, anicca, and it take nibbana the same. As the singular aspect, so voice of signs of formation of vipanasa, then it's called the signless emancipation. Signless emancipation, this is called the animita nupassana, animista vimokkha. So to be easy, path is animita vimokkha. It's come through the contemplation of impermanent, and take nibbana as nibbana through the silent aspect. So if you don't make simple understanding, by reading these texts, these translations, you are confused. Then, so the last things, if the path attained through the contemplation of suffering, and that is known as the path is known as the desireless emancipation. Desireless emancipation. And this is Apanihita Nupassana. And it takes nibbana as it is object through the desireless aspects. So starting from the inside knowledge or contemplation, the name come through, and the orientation is given the sudden name. Okay, so for the fruition, so in this case, we can call the fruition also by the name of Vimokkha. So don't be confused. The first time we give the path consciousness, the path knowledge, mega, as Vimokkha, emancipation. The second time, we still can give this name to the fruition as well, because the fruition also emancipate or liberate from the opposite nature of defilements. So how we can give the fruition is, the same designation as the path that preceded it. So here in this case, the fruition can be understood in two cases. One is the fruition mind movement at the same cognitive process of mega. You may remember that the mega viti or the cognitive process of attainment of mega, there are two or three mind movement of fruition. So this refers to this case. So that in that starting process, the fruition is given the name according to the preceding mega. So which mega it follows, we have to ask, we have to check. And if the mega is the white emancipation, Sunyata Vimokkha, that the following fruition also the same, we can recognize Sunyata Vimokkha. And if the mega is given the silence emancipation, Animita Vimokkha, the following fruition as well, in the same name, the silence emancipation. And if the mega is the desireless emancipation, the Abhinihita Vimokkha, the following fruition also Abhinihita Vimokkha. This is how we can recognize this fruition is this kind of Vimokkha. Okay, so for the second way, given to the name of fruition is mentioned that Phalasamappatti Viti. That Phalasamappatti Viti is after the attainment of mega, and there will continue the overviewing, so knowledge, the Pachavakkhana Jnana, that reviewing knowledge, Pachavakkhana Jnana. After a while, after some times or later, whenever that noble person like to enter to the attainment of Phala, that is called Phalasamappatti Viti. So in order to enter to the Phalasamappatti Viti, and he need to practice Vipassana meditation again, Vipassana like this, focusing on the formation as the anicca or dukkha or anatta. So here the same thing is continue. If so, practicing the contemplation or non-self, or the impermanence or suffering, so he can enter to the fruition. Then if he entered to the fruition attainment, the cognitive process will run in this way. So if he could enter to the fruition process like this, then this is conformity. Only the name of conformity comes. Then directly go to the fruition. There's no past knowledge, because the past knowledge never repeat after it arises. Only fruition can repeat. So in order to repeat or in order to enter to the process of the fruition, so it runs to the countless mind movement to take Nibbana as its object, and there's a kind of the happiness. So in order to enjoy that kind of fruition experience, the noble person, he practiced the inside knowledge up to this process arise. Then for this case, the name of fruition or Vimokkha is given according to this contemplation, this insight knowledge, is not connected to the mega. Pastime, the fruition just after the mega, it followed to the name of mega at that time. For example, if a person practiced the contemplation on the impermanence and attain the enlightenment, that is called the silent emancipation. The mega is silent emancipation. That is called the animita vimokkha. And the fruition also as the process, silent emancipation, animita vimokkha. Then if he changed, then later on, when he tried to enter to the fruition experience, then he preferred to practice the suffering nature. So if he changed to the suffering, contemplation of suffering, the fruition is named as the desireless emancipation. So it is not fixed after the attainment. The name is not fixed after the attainment. So it depends on the vipassana practice, contemplation practice. So we can recognize, depending on the contemplation practice, the vimokkha is given the name. This is the past case. Then the second method also they consider it. So in Abhidhamma and some different assumption. So in this case, though loosely speaking, also it can be considered as all the part of fruition, all the part here. All kinds of part and fruition can be named by all three, silence, desireless, or voids. So sunyata, animita, abnihita, all three related to all kinds of parts and fruition because they take nibbana as its object. Then nibbana have these all three nature. So nibbana have the silence, animita, and desireless, abdihinda, and void sunyata. That is why, and for some case, and the teacher they say, okay, all three can be named to all kinds of mega and phala. So okay, this is how the emancipation is named, given the name of emancipation to the mega and phala. So just keep in mind, the first way is through contemplation, vipassana jnana. And the second way, overall conclusion is according to the nibbana, as its object is all related to the all kinds of name. And also, some say that the mega and phala themselves has these three nature. So the innate nature, nothing to do with the contemplation of the object. By their own nature, they have this quality to get these three names of silence, desireless, and voids. Sunyata, animita, abnihita, whatever, they are qualified enough to get by their own nature. So if we say that we can get the three ways to give the name, first, according to the contemplation, second, according to the object of nibbana, according to their own qualities. Okay, yeah, I'm going to stop here and thank you very much for your attention. And if it is too confused, yeah, please excuse me. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And let's make aspiration and share of merit to our beings. Please repeat after me. Imina punya kamina.
Imina punya kamina.
Mami bala samagamo.
Mami bala samagamo.
Satam samagamo hodu.
Satam samagamo hodu.
Yawa nibbana padiya.
Jawa nibbana patiya.
Idami punyam.
Idame punyam.
Sawakeya wahan hodu.
Asawakaya waha hodu.
Idami punyam.
Idame punyam.
Nibbana sabhajayo hodu.
Nibbana tapachayo hodu.
Ama punya bhagam.
Mama Punya Bhagam
Sabha Satanam Bhajimi
Sabasadanam Bhajami
Esabi
Tetabe
Esamam
Mesamam
Punya Bhagam Labandu.
Punya Bhagam Labandu
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu